What's going on, everyone, ladies and gentlemen? Good afternoon, morning, evening. I don't really know what time it is. Thank you for joining us on Dukes of Degeneracy podcast number 7 now?
Yes, that is correct.
It is 7.
Episode 7.
So we've got a couple of things we'll talk about today. For sure, we're going to be doing our common grounds on on March Comes in Like a Lion for however much of it we may have watched or may not have watched. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. But for now, fellas, how we doing? It's been a hot while, hasn't it?
6 days since the last recording, so. But
only 6 days.
To be fair,
Alex, you are literally on crack.
To be fair as well, we've been grinding a very certain show over the past.
For a long time. That's true.
For the past 5 days. No, I'm talking about 5 days.
Oh, right.
Yes.
That too.
Poking in here.
I was actually thinking too before we started this recording. I was thinking shit, man. Is this gonna be a Love Live episode, or is this gonna be a fucking? is this gonna be a March Comes in Like a Lion episode? I really wasn't sure, because I really did watch a lot of. Just for those who didn't know, over the past 5 days, I've completed 1, 2,
we
4,
broke him. We finally broke him.
4 seasons of anime and 1 movie. So I completed the last 10 episodes of Haikyuu Season 2. Then I watched Haikyuu Season 3, and then also I finished Love Live School Idol Project Season 1, 2, and the movie. So I've been grinding a lot of anime. Guys, there's nothing to do down here. I can't really play video games. It's pretty fucked, but it's all right.
120 ping is just not fun, huh?
It's not. It's really not. Oh my god.
Well, I wasn't expecting this to be a Love Live episode, because I'm sure we can probably keep a lot of Love Live talk. We can probably do an entire first half of an episode just talking about Love Live.
That's what I was thinking.
So the perfect episode for you to host, because it's we're finally everybody's on the same page with Love Live.
well, we're not all on the same page.
True. Yeah.
I bet though, by the next, just so everyone knows, guys, by the next episode we probably will be talking about Sunshine. So
we will mention it.
That's the expectation, at least. We'll see how fast we grind this.
Well, we'll do a quick spoiler warning, I guess, for School Idol Project, whatever.
What is there to spoil? What do you mean?
3, 2, 1 second. All right, cool. Honig eating shit, perhaps? I don't know.
Smoked idiot.
That could be a spoiler.
Literally just stand up next time, forehead.
Well, okay. First of all, let's start from the beginning, and let's kind of work our way around Matt's perspective on School Idol Project. So first of all, because a lot of this I know because I talked to them about it. Both while we were watching it at any point, but also after the movie was all done with, and just we could kind of conclude on it. So first thing was Ryan, top 3 favorite characters.
Top 3, Nozomi, obviously. I'm gonna say Ellie and I really liked Maki. Maki was pretty great.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, so, it's either Maki or Nico, and that's the only other option.
Okay, so here's my thoughts on Nico here, because I know Alex likes Nico. I don't know if you really like Nico as well. Okay.
She's my second favorite character in the show.
Really? Because she's I don't know. I mean, she's
funny.
I feel like she's just comic relief. She doesn't do anything though.
She's fun to get clowned on.
She gets clowned on, and she has that one gimmick that you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, her honestly, I found her family to be more funny than Nico. I just honestly.
I mean, maybe I don't know.
I don't know. She has a neat gimmick, but it gets old fast in my opinion.
Well, I get it. I do get it. But you'll very quickly learn, at least with Matt, is that girls that are the butt of the joke but embrace it are really funny.
She doesn't embrace it though. She doesn't embrace it.
She does.
She's like, no, please stop making fun of me. Ha ha ha! That would be so funny if you stopped making fun of me.
Yeah, it's you can tell she's enjoying the attention regardless of it being kind of picking at her, right? It's the whole point.
Guess. I
like characters like that. I like characters that can take jokes gracefully, Or at least either overreact to the point where it's definitely not a realistic reaction, and they're definitely doing it because they know they're they don't actually care. They're just overreacting because it's fun. That's how I like to do things too. I like to overreact because it's fun, And then I also have moments where I'm like, where it's like, yeah, I guess.
I mean,
everybody- I don't
that's what
react 'cause it's more fun.
that's kind of why I like Nozomi, where because she's like she's like one of the smarter characters, I'd
She
say.
is the goddess. She is the goddess.
Right, but I think she's like one of the smarter characters and has a sense of what's going on most of the time. But like she's like Mugi from K-On! In the sense that like, she understands if something's stupid or not, but she plays along with it anyways because she thinks it'll be more fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Which yeah, we could talk about top three characters all we want, but we should really just talk about top three traits of Nozomi. All I'm saying.
Yeah.
Character design, wholesomeness, horniness. I mean, come on, like
And the eyes.
the eyes is it's actually just like the epitome of RR. It's just like, oh my god. I mean, really have no complaints.
Something else that you mentioned yesterday, and you wanted to save a more in-depth explanation for today, Ryan, was specifically for you, Matt. Why do you not like Ellie?
Yeah, like what's wrong with Ellie?
Okay. My problem with Ellie is mostly because of Daya. Pretty much. Because Daya just does everything that Ellie is better. So Ellie lost value for me. And I was just like, alright, I'd rather like Maki and Nico instead of Ellie. And then, those are like my top three because Nozomi's at the top, obviously. And then, Nico and Maki are like basically tied for me. I don't really care which one's which. One or two or three. Ellie just lost value because Daya is so much better in Sunshine. So
that doesn't make Ellie a bad character, though.
It doesn't. No, it just makes me like her less. That's all. It's not that I dislike her. I just like her less because I like Daya significantly more.
Okay.
And she does everything that Ellie was better. So
I mean, like, okay, to be honest, like picking a top three characters, because I'm actually not gonna lie here. Like, I think. There's like three categories, just like characters that were like alright, or like that didn't bother me, characters that I liked, and then characters that I hated. And it was pretty like bottom heavy. Like the characters that I did not like, I really, really, really hated. I just hated seeing them on. I just hated seeing them on screen. Like, I mean, for me, the biggest offenders are Rin and Honk. I really did not like Honk at all.
Like, really, you disliked Rin more than Haneo?
Yeah, I did. I think like, don't get me wrong, Hanayo's voice is not great, but like Rin has the worst gimmick out of all of the characters in the show.
It's just like kind of tomboyish, but like not really.
No, the tomboy thing plays no part into the show. I don't know why you guys keep mentioning her. I don't know why you guys keep mentioning it. Her whole gimmick is the cat.
Tomboy, that's why.
The whole gimmick is the cat shit. And like, I hate it because she says
I don't like it.
It's like, why are you like she either ends every sentence with "nya" or that's her fucking reaction. "Nya" is not a reaction. Okay, when she's cheering, she's like, "Yeah." Like, why?
Man,
why?
You might not like Hanamaru then. What the hell? That's tragic.
But here's the thing. But Hanamaru's is like kind of funny because it's actually annoying.
Yeah, it's not Nya.
Zuda might actually be bearable.
Zuda is good. The Zudas are amazing.
I haven't look, man. I haven't seen Sunshine, so I can't say for sure.
But
I just know
Mirai Zuda.
I just know I don't like Rin. I don't think she did anything in the show, and like
yeah, it's true.
Her gimmick was annoying. I don't
and
like don't get me wrong. I don't like Hanayo either, but like she was not like as like intrusive or fucking, I don't know, out of the blue. Well, no, because don't get me, they were both annoying to some degree, but like Rin's nyas were so like just unnecessary and like stupid.
It was like abundant.
Yeah, whereas Hanayo's is like, I don't know. It wasn't as bad. She had her rice thing Haneo. And she was like really shy. It was like whatever. Like I don't care.
Every time she brought up rice, you're like, damn, I could go for some rice right now.
I could! Rice is fucking bomb, dude! Yo, wait, you're not shit talking white rice. I refuse.
No, rice is amazing.
Thank you.
Would love rice.
I think it's the best of all the carbs. Between rice, potatoes, and rice, potatoes, and pasta.
Potatoes a vegetable.
And bread. What the fuck am I talking about?
Potatoes a vegetable. Doesn't count.
It's still pretty carb heavy though.
Yeah, but it's a vegetable, so it doesn't count. It's not a grain.
Okay, well then for rice,
Become
pasta,
the grain debate.
then for rice, pasta, and bread, like rice still wins like easily. Bread
Yeah.
second, potatoes third. Third, in humble opinion.
Pasta's pretty bomb. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I feel like rice and then.
I'm not
pasta.
gonna say one's better than the other, but rice is by no means like bad. I mean,
Not a
like
pushover.
that's not
Rice is a
the
heavy
discussion.
hitter.
Yeah, we're not. No one here is saying rice is bad.
Rice
but,
is
like,
a heavy hitter, for
it,
sure.
It was I don't know. Hanayo is weird. Don't get me wrong, but again,
Hanayo.
I hate Rin and Hanukkah more. I think she, God. Could there be a more annoying main character? I thought I've seen, guys, I swear to God, I thought I've seen every terrible main character there is to be seen. But holy shit, Hanukkah is just annoying. It's just the plot threads that they create with her, like I considered giving season 2 of School Idol Project the same score as season 1 just because I hated the student council thing so much. I felt like it was so
Yeah, it's
stupid.
true. I didn't like
It
it
was
either.
so stupid. Like of all people to become student council president, they chose Honk
most
just because
clueless
she's
person.
just because she's the main character, and yeah, she's the worst to be the worst to be the fucking
Literally the worst fucking person to have.
yeah, the worst person for the job.
Umi, out of anything, Umi should have been student council president.
Yeah, no,
She
she
fits that
Yeah,
role.
she,
She
actually had her
does.
shit together.
And you know, she's like a bitch sometimes, so it makes sense. And I don't know, man. The stupid plot threads that they made out of her, like the overweight one, was so stupid. All right, here's how we're gonna lay it out, guys. Honk got overweight because she got complacent or for whatever reason it was, and she needs to lose weight. So so then what happens? Then they make their fucking budget plan or some shit, and so
Yeah.
she worked so hard that she just forgot to eat, and that's how she lost the weight. Guys, here's the lesson here. Here's the lesson. Fucking just don't worry about your problems. It will get solved eventually. Like that doesn't like it didn't fuck with anything in regards to like you know, she could have put in the effort for her what term do you use? Not teammates.
Weight loss. Oh.
For her group.
Group,
For the
yeah.
group, I
She
guess?
could have put in the effort for her group or something. You know, she could have learned like, oh, you know, I should do this for, you know, so I don't let, you know, my friends
the
down
boys.
or some shit. Yeah, or like I don't know. There's probably some other way that they could have spun that to make a better lesson than just don't worry about your problems. They'll solve themselves. Like what the fuck?
And at the end of the day,
I hated it.
this is
I
when
hate
Sunshine
Honk.
gets-
Annoying
when
too.
Sunshine becomes brilliant because they don't have an annoying main character.
Chica's is actually
Chica's
pretty
amazing.
good. I do actually like Chica. I don't just not not dislike her. I actually like Chica. She's good.
Chica's peppy to the point where it's like actually believable, but she knows her limits.
Yeah.
So,
And okay, I'm just sorry. I need to keep on this Honk rant right here. Okay, Yuigahama ripoff. The fuck, like she also just like her character design too is like so basic.
I guess kind of.
She's just a Yuigahama ripoff. Okay.
I don't get the Yuigahama ripoff.
She has the same hairstyle as Yuigahama. What do you fucking
not,
mean?
though.
Yes, it is. It's literally the same thing.
It's not a bun. It's just like a side tail. That's literally it.
It's
not a
like
bun.
so fucking similar. It blows my mind that anyone could think that she has an interesting character design. Okay, if anything, Yuigahama's hair bun is definitely better. Okay, I will say that. I'm a
Hair bun is
fan,
definitely better. Yeah.
and you know,
I love the hair buns.
yeah. Okay, well, like as much as I'd like to turn this into a Yuigahama stan tangent here, I'm gonna stay on topic here. Okay, fuck Honk, fuck like she's like what episode was it when she was like, oh yeah, like guys, I don't want to do idol shit anymore.
Yeah,
like
she just like
she brought everyone into
I forgot
it.
about that.
Like what the fuck?
And everybody's
It
like,
was-
wait a minute, you're the one that got us. into
Yeah,
this.
it was literally her idea, and then she was because it was like she was like, oh man, yeah guys, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do idol shit again because I got so self-absorbed and I wasn't thinking of other people. She was literally doing the same thing by not continuing the idol group, right? Her not continuing the idol group was the same thing. She was so absorbed in whatever the fuck she was thinking that she didn't even consider like if the other people wanted to keep going or not. Or
It's just more of Honk being fucking stupid.
Honk
That's
is-
literally all it is.
and honestly I think that's a terrible character gimmick. I think like that trope in anime. I hate that character. I hate those types of characters. It's just annoying.
Just the dumb fucking character, and it's like, no,
Yeah.
you're not entertaining because you're stupid. You're just
It's
you're
not
just fucking
endearing.
stupid
It's
enough.
not even endearing. Yeah, it's just like why? I don't. So stupid.
It's because we're too smart, Ryan. We're too good for them. We're
Yeah.
too good for the stupid characters.
And like Honk wasn't as bad as Rin, like I will say, but it was definitely emphasized just because she was the main character. Like she was on screen so often. I hated that.
I don't know how you hate Rin so much. Like I don't like Rin either, but like
hate
I would
Rin.
put her at like the top of the dislike list. Like I would put like,
The top of the dislike list.
I
King
put,
of the trash.
Is the third worst. Hanukkah's the second worst, and I fucking hate Haneo. Fuck Haneo.
Okay,
so trash.
Tell me what's wrong with Haneo. Haneo, tell me.
I hate hearing her voice ever. It doesn't matter what she's saying. I hate it ever. Like the Nyaz, all right, they're kind of annoying. They're all over the place.
They're
but I
very
can tune
annoying.
those out. Haneo's voice is so intrusive to my fucking ears. It like pierces into my brain and gives me a fucking a fucking aneurysm. I'm gonna burst a fucking blood vessel in my brain listening to her voice. I hate it. I hate it so much. And when she sings, it's even worse.
Okay, her singing's not great. You showed me that clip from that song or whatever. It was not great. I will
literally like 2 words, and she's
Yeah.
like,
I agree. It was
Fuck
not
off,
it was
shut
not
up.
great. It was not great.
so bad.
I don't think her voice was like as intrusive though as like you're making it out to be.
Because she's always overshadowed by everybody else.
Yeah. I mean
But
like,
but,
it's
but
not
the thing
like-
is, with me, it's like a trigger. It's literally like a fucking PTSD trigger at this point. Like every time I hear her voice, I immediately just like fucking I have a twinge of pain. Like it just hurt.
See-
I just hurt.
the way I see it, I think Hanayo is like king of the trash in the sense that she is the best of the worst characters. That's just my opinion.
She's the most possible for endearment, but I hate her voice and everything else about her so much that I don't care.
Okay, before we close off on Love Live, I want to talk about one more pressing issue, and that is Arise.
Fuck her eyes.
I mean, I don't think there's anything to argue over. I think they didn't do anything.
Arise, I sleep.
They kept like making them
so?
out to be this big thing, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do a joint concert, but not show Arise." Like, and with the exception of like 4 frames or some shit.
It's literally like I said. It's literally Arise, I sleep. Saint Snow, real shit. That's some real shit.
I haven't seen Saint Snow yet, so no.
Right,
Okay,
but that means you have lots to look forward to. It's perfect.
can I ask you guys why you guys thought the movie was better than seasons 1 and 2?
Because it's more complete, in my opinion. Like there's just and the songs are better in my opinion as well. I don't like most of
The songs are better. I will say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like how in what sense is it more complete? Because I think I gave it the same score as season 2, and to be honest, I was hard pressed to say that season 2 was like a whole lot better than season 1.
I gave it a 7. I'm pretty sure I gave it a 7, which still isn't that great. Like 7's like it was good. Like,
7 was good. Yeah. I gave season 2 and the movie 7, and I gave season 1 a 6.
Season 1, I'm pretty sure I'm the exact same.
Okay.
Regard.
Because Alex, you gave it a 9, right?
Oh, the movie I gave a 9.
Yeah.
I don't know how you did that.
I think
I know 9's a big number.
there's, when it comes to the plot, I can overlook a bad plot, and especially with an Idolman anime, if there's good characters, which all the characters carry over from the show, so I'm just continuing to see them on screen. Good music, good ass music. Angelic Angel, good ass music.
Angelic Angel's really good. It's one of my favorite songs of
I think at least I want to say like over half of the songs that are in that are actually not, I'm trying to think. I think there's only like 2 or 3 songs that are in the movie that I do not have on my Spotify.
Yeah,
Every other song I put on Spotify because every single song slaps.
I will say, yeah, the movies songs were definitely better, like as a whole.
Yeah, which is like the biggest thing of an idol show is the music. So I mean,
and the big thing for me was, well, I also gave it such a high score because of the sentimentality behind it. Because I to give you
you cried like a baby. That's all.
Yeah. So 2 things. First of all, I cry like a baby, and second, again, I cried Did I cry twice? No, I only cried once during that movie. But like the big thing was that I watched Love Live at the beginning of the new year when I think I was at my lowest this year, and then immediately spiked it back up. So it just made me really happy watching it. So I kind of owe the show something.
Okay.
Serotonin overdose.
Which is like same kind of like nostalgia-ish kind of idea as to why I give Sword Art Online a 7. Is that like I know the show isn't great, but like Sword Art Online is such like a fuzzy memory to me that like I can't give it anything lower than a 7. Or anything higher than a 7 for that matter, but
oh man, that's that's another discussion. But
Alicization is the only one that deserves a 7 at most. That's it.
He gave Alicization, I think, a lower score. Didn't? Or no, that was you. That was you, I think, Matt. I think that was you.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I miss like because I might have like I did that I made my mal well after I finished watching SAO. So I think it might have been because I misremembered which season was which, maybe like what happens in which season, you know. Yeah. Alicization was definitely the best of those seasons.
That's what I had heard as well. And so when I saw that, I was like,
it's all not that good, to be honest. It's all just like the best it gets is good. The rest is either fine or trash.
All right, so just quickly though, I will just say, I felt like the movie added nothing. I think it could have ended at season 2, and that would have been fine. Like I don't think it added anything because the result was the same anyways. They just got to perform more. Like I don't think I don't think any characters made any developments or any new conclusions were drawn, like following the movie, and like that's why I gave it. Like I was hard pressed to give it any higher score because I don't think it achieved anything. So I was just like,
because they'd already saved the school by the end of season 2, no?
Yeah,
they saved the school after season 1.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
They only postponed it though?
That's the whole reason why Honoka quit, was because Honoka's like, we got enough attention at the school, I'm done. It doesn't matter anymore.
Right. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. Yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah.
I only dipped in every once in a while whenever you guys were watching. I'd be like watching a couple episodes here and there with you guys, and that was it.
So we'll see how Sunshine goes.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it lives up to the hype. Let me ask you, what scores did you guys give Sunshine?
10.
Season 1 was a 9. Season 2 and the movie were a 10 for me.
God.
You're diving head on into the deep end.
9 and 10. Those are really high scores, guys. Those are really high scores.
It is really high. But honestly, I felt like at the time it deserved it, and I think right now, like I can still stand by those scores. I may not be able to convince you that they're actually worthy of those scores, but I can stand by them for myself. Like I can still be like, look back at that and be like, yeah, that's a 9. Yeah, that's a 10. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Like, I'm not gonna like go back and change it. So
yeah. Did you guys watch anything else?
Well, I was gonna talk about like over the past. We're talking Idle, like Love Live, or we're talking just generally anime?
Generally, I mean, because it's been since the last Common Grounds, quite a while. Like,
let me check. I'm not gonna check them out actually. I can figure this out.
I finished Higehito. I watched the last episode of Higehito.
Oh, that's right.
Finale. It was last 3 episodes, I think. I was like a little bit behind, so I caught up and finished it last week.
I finished it too.
When the last episode came out. It's good. It's honestly good. I'm pleasantly surprised with how good it was. Because, like, I remember when I first mentioned it, like, a few episodes ago on the Common Grounds, I mentioned I was watching it, and I was like, yeah, it could go either way. Like, it might be just, like, one of those fun shows I just enjoy. Or it might be, you know, something that's actually, like, you know, has some depth to it and actually is, like, above just being a good to me. I ended up giving it an 8.
Wow.
That's, like, high for me, right? That's, like, pretty high. That's, like, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Honestly, I did thoroughly enjoy the last, like, probably 5 episodes at least. Like I thought they were like really good, like really deep, and like lots of good stuff in that. Like it's a damn good show. Honestly, it's a damn good show. And if it doesn't get a second season, it's like one of those shows that I'm actually tempted to go watch or to go read I think it's a light novel.
Well, I mean, you saw the ending, right? I don't think there's going to be a second season.
Yeah, no, I don't know if they'll do a second season. It might end up being one of those shows. It's like, hey, this is the anime. Go read the manga if you want more. Like or whatever. Like go read.
Does it continue after that?
Yeah, there's more to it. Yeah, I talked to a friend about it after, and he said there's at least like I don't remember if it's a novel or if it's a manga, but he said there's like source material that goes past that. So, cause like I just thought it was very like it was all right. Like for me, like
okay, the premise is already like pretty touchy. Then so like I was like okay, well you know I could get used to it because like I think of Higahiro is like, in my opinion, like a worse After the Rain. This is my opinion here.
I've never seen After the Rain, so I can't vouch.
I highly recommend it, but it has a very similar like touchy premise where like this like
the whole taking in the
younger girl is like
Yeah.
has this crush on like this older guy and stuff, and I think like Higahiro like I saw them as kind of similar shows where it's like, oh yeah, I can see where this is going. It's like
I think it handles it really well though.
they mess with the idea of like, oh yeah, they could fall in love and shit like that, and then but it's really just about like the two characters making each other better and shit. It's like not actually about like love. At least that's like what I expected from it. But like it was really bothering me how like they kept toying with it and shit like throughout the series. I felt like where they kept mentioning stuff that I felt was just like unnecessary. Like it made it harder to, and that's what I didn't like about it because I don't think it should be, like honestly.
Yeah, I mean I get why, because it creates more like it drives the story better when there's that little bit of like conflicting like morality, like when you have that, it makes the story a little bit more interesting, honestly, in my opinion anyways. Like when there's conflicting morality issues, like when I watch Hunter x Hunter, like I have the thing over there, there's conflicting morality issues there, and like that made it more interesting because like they're not real people, so you can separate the fact that this is a real issue versus like a morality issue in a piece of media. And I can look at that and go, that's like interesting to see how they've written these characters dealing with this issue of like this morality issue, right? Like this whole older guy dating a younger girl thing, that's and like it's like it didn't even happen, right? Like that's just like it was like a question mark the whole time. And
but that's what I didn't.
Question mark even at the end, which is like good in my opinion.
I thought that made it worse. I think that they should have just gotten over it, and it was more more character focused instead of like the romance and stuff like that. Like I thought that was I didn't like that whole concept at all. Because like After the Rain,
personal preference thing, honestly, because I really enjoyed that whole question mark thing. It created more like intrigue to me, because it was like it kept drawing me back in. Like see like, all right, is this gonna turn into that thing where like they get together, it's like a whole mess because they get together and it's not good because it's literally illegal and stuff like that. I was like it gave me that like uneasiness where I was like, I really hope it doesn't go that direction, so I'm gonna keep on watching to find out how they go about this. And I honestly really liked what happened as I kept watching, so I mean no complaints from me.
I don't know. I like After the Rain handles it where it's like they get over the whole idea of the relationship and stuff, and then it focuses more on the characters and stuff, because it focuses more on Kodo, who's the guy who's like on his writing and shit, and then Tachibana, who's like like the track runner and stuff like that. And so it focuses more on like their relationship, like it's more about like how their relationship, like while platonic, does help each other grow and shit like that. And like that's what I like it starts with one person liking the other and shit, and then I don't know, I just didn't, I wasn't a big fan of how Higahiro like took it that way. I don't know, I didn't like the direction it went. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I liked it, so
yeah.
I'd say I'll probably watch it eventually. I'll watch it eventually.
Of the seasonals that I've watched this season, because I watched 4: Tokyo Revengers, Odd Taxi, To Your Eternity, and Higahiro. I'd say that's probably my least favorite. Not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah. So Eternity kind of turned itself around with the most recent arc. I think I've come to. I didn't like the March arc, but I have been enjoying the most recent one. I don't have either of you guys watched it or no?
No, I'm not. I was gonna watch that when it finished so that I can binge it.
I think it's supposed to be like 24 or something, but
yeah.
I thought it was like 18. Like I thought it was like a really weird number.
I think it was 24 on Mall, but it turned itself around. It's my third favorite, I'd say, and then first and second can honestly be a toss up between Revengers and Odd Taxi. I mean, I mentioned this previously, but like pretty much all the YouTubers on a given day decided to all release their Odd Taxi videos at the same time. And like
I mean, it's all come out, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna not watch them because I want to watch the show at some point.
It's good.
Possibly, I was thinking about it.
It's good. It's good. I really recommend it. It's I mean, I've pitched the show like 4 times already on the podcast, so I don't need to explain it more. But it's worth the watch, I'd say. So
in terms of the stuff that I've watched, because I didn't really watch much else apart from March when we were watching it. I watched a couple episodes of Haikyuu with Matt.
when was this?
When he came over a couple weeks ago. It was like, well, we gotta let's watch something. I don't want to really browse through YouTube through the entire time. So like, let's put on like, I'll start Haikyuu, and then I watched like a couple of episodes of Haikyuu, and I was like, all right, cool. Guess that's Haikyuu.
At what point did you get to?
I am not. I'm 4 episodes.
I think he's like 4 episodes. Something like that.
We watched 3 episodes, and I watched the 4th on my own.
Are they in the gym yet?
He hasn't even met Nishinoya yet. So
it's so far it's fine. I don't know. I'm not much of a sports anime guy.
you haven't even met 2 of the best characters, or 2 of the best characters in the first season. Like the first season, the 2 characters you haven't seen yet get like the most work in the first season, and like you haven't even seen them yet. So I don't know.
Yeah,
like I'll
still
get
early.
the show. I'm gonna
You're 4 episodes
like go and get through it. But I'm like honestly like. It's good so far. Like I have no complaints. I have nothing good to say, nothing bad to say. It's just seems good. At least this is gonna make me more interested. It's gonna make me more interested in volleyball. That's for sure. So my sister's gonna have one thing going for her, where at least I'll care about her sport. In terms of weekly shit, Nagatoro ended. I am
President Best Girl. President Best Girl. President Best Girl.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. I still like Nagatoro the best for sure. In terms of like how it ended, it's different from the manga. Definitely a little bit different from the manga. I think that was the way they ended it is definitely I think them saying, all right, cool, 1 season and we're done. Go read the manga, and I think that's what it is. And honestly,
yeah.
For most shows, like I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of stupid, but I've actually read the manga, and honestly, it's like, yeah, it can work. It probably works better as a manga, honestly, than an anime. So I kind of like, as much as it's kind of shitty. I feel like if they do make a 2nd season of Nagatoro, that shit's gonna go hard because that like Nagatoro got so much press just for existing this season.
Yeah, it did. It was
definitely
one of the bigger.
After that ending, though, so like.
Well, like they can always continue it like from where it picked
yeah,
up. But all they did was they had the story and then they had like a scene because I'm not gonna spoil it, but they have like a scene where Nagatoro and fucking Naoto the guy they do a thing that wasn't.
I thought the name was never shown in the anime though.
The name is never ever spoken. But we know his name, 1, because really late in the manga they tell you, and 2, they put it on the My Anime List page.
Yeah.
So.
Oh right.
Yeah, because
like they just kind of like end it on like a tangent of like, oh, look at them doing this cute shit, and like this doesn't happen in the manga, but like cool, like they could honestly just pick back up to where they were, and honestly, it's such a skitty anime anyways. So it's like it doesn't matter if the story is down to the wire. So.
Yeah, it looked like based on like what I'd seen of the ending, it didn't look super like. It has to end here. I don't know. It looked like it could kind of continue from there.
It could go on, but like when they do something, I'm not going to mention what it is, but they do something as big as they do in that final scene for the anime. I'm like, okay, so we're done.
Yeah.
It's just the things that happen in that last scene they feel so conclusive that it's like, oh, why am I gonna watch this anymore then? Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
How would they continue the story if they're just gonna do this? So, Vivi finished. It's a 10. Like
I had heard that Vivi and Odd Taxi were like the 2 best seasonals of this season.
No one talked about either of them.
Like, well,
actually,
while they were happening, there was no hype on like social media.
There's no hyper discussion about Vivi or Odd Taxi. Like I only know about Odd Taxi through you. Like primarily, I'm not ignoring the YouTube videos, but I know the Odd Taxi shit through you, and I know all the Vivi shit through myself because no one else talks about either of those shows. All the season has been was Tokyo Revengers and To Your Eternity, I think.
Yeah, and Nagatoro.
Oh yeah, Nagatoro. Yeah,
because but that's because like I feel like the seasonals that have like initial hype behind them because of the source material, like do get the press throughout the season. But then at the end, I think people will talk about the shows that were also good, right?
Yeah, like Dragon Maid's probably gonna get the most talk this season because it's like the biggest continuing series, right? So
we're gonna talk about this next week. We will talk about seasonals for next week.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
I do think like Dragon Maid. I mean, what do we have this season? We have Hiroaka this season as well, don't we?
It's continuing. Season
Who honestly
5,
cares? Who honestly cares?
I don't care.
But like, I think that's more.
I don't care.
Naruto, like it's the same thing as like with like One Piece. It's like cool, another One Piece episode for like.
But here's the thing: One Piece is actually good. There's a difference.
I'm not talking about that, but like, still, it's like okay, cool. One Piece is continuing this season. What a shocker! It's like a big show. They're gonna keep pumping out more episodes. It's whatever. And then I've fallen off on Tokyo Revengers. Like I think I'm like 2 episodes behind. I'll get to it.
Oh really? Only 2? I thought you were like way behind.
No. I checked my mail, and I have last episode I watched was 11. I think we're at 13 as of today. 13 or 14.
14, I think. 14. I'm pretty sure it's 14.
I'm only a couple episodes behind. Honestly, like I really want to like it, man. But it's like it's.
I mean, yeah, it's not for everyone. Like I do say that every time. Like it's not for the pacing's definitely not for everyone. Also, the main character is not for everyone. Like I understand that.
That's why I want to watch it. That's why I want to be able to binge it because I've heard issues with pacing, and I'm like, all right, well, I mean, I can solve the pacing issue by watching it all at once.
Well, yeah. Also, there's a couple of points in like a quote from one of my friends. They do some shit in the show where they'll like for 1 week they'll be like, all right, here's this like. There's like the sister animation studio. Here's our episode animated for just this week. We gotta do something. And then it was like episode 6, I think. Episode 6 looked so bad. I don't know what they did with it, but there was a point like I'll send you the frame later, Ryan. But there's a frame of the main character or Takemichi of like he just looks like so fucking like lazily drawn, and he's on screen like not even for like a second, but for like a minute of just him holding that same face. I'm like, how did they get away with this?
I always think those are funny when I see those. I don't even care about I don't even care about quality. I just think it's like kind of funny. I don't know.
It is funny, but I'm not watching Tokyo Revengers for a funny show.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to watch you gotta cut him some slack though, right? Like it is what it is. Right? Sometimes you gotta hand off an episode and like
I don't know.
Shit happens. I'm not gonna like hate on it for one.
I haven't seen that myself, so.
I hate the lens flare. Lens flares are stupid. Fuck lens flares.
Are you just in as a whole?
Just show the Nazi symbol. Just show the swastika, man. It's not. It's like the whole thing, right?
I don't remember this. Wait, what the fuck? What? Where was there supposed to be a swastika?
So let me explain. Any point where you see like the back of like the coat that they have, if you're gonna see the coat, and there's gonna be like there's 4 symbols. There's supposed to be like 1, 2, and then a swastika, which is like originally in like Japanese like in like Japanese history, it means like peace or it means like strength.
Only Japanese, but it is.
Well, it's like there's a different definition.
It's supposed to have a good meaning. It's supposed to have
a good meaning. Obviously, Hitler didn't do the good stuff with it, but nonetheless, that's kind of what the design on the back of the coat was like these symbols, like these like Japanese characters plus like the swastika. I forgot what it's actually called, but because of censorship things, anytime that you should be able to see it, they either 1 just wiped it like with an MS Paint tool because you can visually see the colors not working, or 2 they put a super obnoxious lens flare to completely block just that specific point in the jacket. If you watch the opening, you can see at one point where they all have their backs up, there's a fucking massive like horizontal lens flare that comes towards the screen only on that one part of the coat.
I have not noticed that.
Censorship in anime, though, really, right?
I only know this because one of my friends like actually read the manga, and he's so upset with some of the shit that they're doing with the anime because like some of it's like, yeah, that was good interpretation. And it's like, what the fuck? Why did they do this?
I did not know about that. That's interesting.
I'll show you at some point.
Okay.
No, not much else for me. I wanna get Idolmaster. After I finish Haikyuu, I want to finish up Idolmaster.
It's gonna take you a long time to finish Haikyuu.
Season 1.
Okay, because
I don't know why you do that, but I mean,
I don't.
Yeah, I feel like after you watch season, like you have to at least watch through season 3 until you go on a break.
Season 1 through 3 are all way too like connected, I think, to not watch them.
Which
nevertheless, I
will say
I want to get some other stuff. So
okay.
but
I will say though,
anyways, you
Haikyuu,
can
my first sports anime, aside from Sound Euphonium, which is the sports anime that's not a sports anime. Banger, by the way.
Love Live.
Haikyuu is good.
Sports anime.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is sports anime without the sports.
It's not. It's actually not. It's actually not. It's not actually. I think it's more of like a. I mean, it's an idol show, but it's not like it's different from a sports anime because like a sports anime is like, you know, like people are like you can like physically or you can like visually see people like working on stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like a lot of sports anime they have it where like they heavily emphasize what's going on during their games or their performances. So as you mentioned with
and there's like and there's like a build up and stuff too.
Yeah, so there's a build up and then they like talk about it like as it's happening instead of like for Love Live obviously it's just music.
Right, and that's I did say this before too, where it's like Love Live. It felt weird because it was just like you rarely see them practicing, and then it's just or you see them practicing, but you rarely see them practicing something specific, and so then like it happens, and you're like, oh, like I guess they just learned all this, you know. Like I will say one of the better moments though was like when Maki was like, oh yeah, I've been writing this song and shit, and then like you actually get to see it when like at the end of the movie, right? Because you get to see the song that Maki wrote and shit. That was like for the group, right? When they thought they were doing the final concert, and so like I thought that I prefer that. That's my preference. It was jarring to like not see any lead up, and then they're like, oh yeah, I guess this is what they learned and shit. It was like weird for me. I don't know.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, Haikyuu though was great. Tsukishima. Probably my favorite character right now.
Boy Tsuki, yeah, he was probably my favorite following season 3 just because of he just
went crazy. He went crazy.
Yeah, he's just a lot of love in season 3, and I'm like, yeah, I can get behind this guy. I like this guy.
I mean, I like all the characters. All the characters are pretty fucking great. So I mean, like, yeah, I literally can't think of a character that I don't like.
Tanaka, you're looking forward to Tanaka's love, and like I'm like, man, season 4 is for you, like.
Yeah.
Season 4 part 2 is gonna be your favorite season if you want to see Tanaka. Like,
see what's nice, like something definitely that like Haikyuu gets right, and like which I've always found problematic with sports anime or like shows with like or like idol shows and stuff is when there's too many characters and it's just inevitable that you'll hate some characters, but like Haikyuu, I just don't hate any characters.
Just don't.
Like I can understand where some people might dislike some characters, but like as a whole, and for my personal opinion, I just don't dislike any character. I don't even dislike a character. Like that's really saying something. Like even if the there's not as much emphasis on every single character, or like the story itself isn't like I don't know, it's not geared for that way, I guess, in the sense of like not like story driven or character driven in the same way that like other shows might be, because it's a sports anime, because it's a little bit different of a format. Despite that, and like regardless of that, it's still like the fact that I can say that I don't dislike any characters is like really saying something. So
all right then.
That's what I'll say about Haikyuu.
All right, well, let's move on a little bit. Do we want to take a break? Has anyone?
No, I'm good.
Need to go to the bathroom or anything of the sort? Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we can move on to March Comes in Like a Lion. So we had what was that? We had like 3-4 weeks ish to start the show.
We had a long time.
Through. It was 44 episodes, 22 episodes a season. So anything worth mentioning? Made by Studio Shaft, other works, Monogatari series, Madoka Magica, Perfect Teacher Onizuka. I don't remember his name.
Onizuka. Onizuka. As Americans would pronounce it Onizuka. I don't think that's how it's pronounced as Onizuka. Like Onizuka.
Perfect Teachers.
Something like that.
But anyways, makers of those pretty good shows. Pretty critically acclaimed.
Now I have to look.
It was what? March was from. I'm trying to think here. It was from 2008, if I'm correct. 2009.
I want to say it's pretty old. Yeah.
Is it?
Older. recording here is from. Oh no, that's a lie. It was from 2016. Actually.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, I don't think it's that old. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2016.
Never mind. Don't listen to us.
Despite visually, like if it like looks and I remember it as a little bit more of an older show, but it is actually a little bit recent. First season was 2016, and second season came out in 2018. Well, it was fall. It was fall of 17 to winter of 18. So
it's basically 2 years between seasons. Yeah.
All right. Well, does anyone have anything initially they want to talk about
for scores?
Or maybe we should probably start with scores. Yeah.
Scores, I think. Yeah.
All right. So, Ryan, what'd you give March, or what? How? Because you're the one who has watched it before,
right?
Before, like, you rewatching it.
So on the initial watch, I gave season 1 a 7 and season 2 an 8. But then on the second watch, I gave season 1 an 8 and season 2 a 9. Okay. I think, like, I will say, like, watching it for the first time was a little bit weird, just because I wasn't really quite sure what to expect from it. But at the same time, like, I just knew that it was, like, really fucking, like, from what I had heard, it was really good, but also, like, really depressing. So I expected myself to get, like, emotionally destroyed, which, you know, I wouldn't say it did that for me. And, like, and so, like, because my expectations were thrown a little bit, like, fucking just, you know, I don't know, mixed up a little bit, like, I probably, I think that's why I gave it a 7 and 8 in the first place. Like, it's still a great show, but I think, like, definitely on the second watch through, I was definitely able to pick up on a lot more things and also just get a lot more from it.
Right, I feel like you're able to do that for, like, most shows that you rewatch a second time. Kind of just cover some shit, and you kind of phase out everything that you already know when rewatching something, and find
because you get the more subtleties and stuff. But also, like, you also, I feel like I only rewatch shows when I feel like I can get more out of it too. So.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah, I felt like
you want to say your piece there, Matt?
I'll go last, I think, because I have more to say.
Yeah. Let me hear from you, Alex, because I have no idea what you think of it.
Okay, so I want to preface one thing before I give my scores. Right, is that I am kind of a Studio Shaft simp. I fucking love everything they put out. Two of my like the two shows that I watched from them before coming into this was one, Madoka Magica, which I watched in one day, not because I had nothing else to do, but because it was so good that I could not keep myself from watching another episode every single time.
How many episodes was it?
It was 12 episodes. It's just 12 episodes, but it's like it's solid. It's a solid episode.
There's movies now though, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of movies. I haven't watched any of them, but all the movies are like alternate timelines and shit, and I'll get into that eventually. But Madoka Magica, which I really loved. And second, lo and behold, my favorite anime of all time, the Monogatari series, every single season was produced by them. So with Shaft, they have a style. They have a certain style in the way that they do shit for a majority of their shows, where they are not very, like, from what I saw, they're a lot more metaphorical. They don't from the shows I'd seen before this. They don't really do head-on dialogue. When it's just one person, like, criticizing somebody else, or like they're like having like an actual, like, heart-to-heart conversation. They do that a little bit in Madoka Magica, but in Monogatari that's such a fucking foreign concept because everyone talks as if everyone else is a fucking, like, immaculate being who knows everything or either knows everything or nothing, which makes dialogue really fun in that show.
Right, yeah, that's what I've heard is, like, one of the best parts about Monogatari. I've actually heard too that, like, if you don't speak Japanese, you actually are missing out on a lot of, like, subtleties and stuff as well.
When it comes to the language. Take it one step at a time. I feel like if you knew Japanese and you watched that, you would be getting blown back by so much shit that you could not hold together. I think it's honestly better if you don't know Japanese, because if you know Japanese, you're getting so much information thrown at you. But English, even with English, it's a lot of stuff to take in. So with March, like, I knew it was Shaft. I think at first I was like, okay, cool, I'll watch this, and then, like, a couple episodes later I'm like, this is so Shaft. I think that the moment that I knew was Studio Shaft was a couple episodes in when Kyoka comes in, his sister, Ray's sister. As soon as she does that head tilt, I'm like, this is Studio Shaft. I see that shit. Because they do that a lot more.
Right. What episode? Or sorry, not what episode. Sorry, what score I meant? What score did you give it?
for season 1, I gave it a 7. As you initially said, I thought that it was good. I think it was solid. But a majority of the season revolves around Ray, and they try really hard. Like they don't talk like they kind of like note as bad like his past every here and there. They don't like go into detail with it as they do in the second season.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like because the whole season I feel like is about Ray improving on himself and looking into himself, and instead of because I think season 2 is a lot more looking around at the people around him.
Right. Yeah.
And I just felt like if without knowing what happened to him, it makes it really difficult for me to like sympathize with him trying to fix himself if I don't even know what issues he has. That was the way I personally saw it was that if I don't know what caused him to be this way and like in the big timeline, it's difficult for me to want to sympathize with him.
That made me that might have been part of the reason why I had trouble as well, because like I didn't think of it that way. That didn't even occur to me that maybe it's just because I don't know what happened that I am having trouble sympathizing. Because that was one of the things, like I had a really damn hard time sympathizing with any of the characters in the show for whatever reason. I couldn't tell you originally, but I think that might be part of the reason, because I can sympathize with like Akati and like the 3 girls, because like that like their parents passed and like they had all the shit they went through. Like that makes like I can at least sympathize with that. Like it makes sense. But like I know Ray lost his parents, but like there's nothing else to go off from that. And like that might have been part of the reason why I had trouble sympathizing with him. And because I spent so much time on it, it was hard to connect.
But like that's like part of the show is that like as the show goes on, like like you learn more about Ray and more of it begins to unfold and shit, you learn more about his past and why he behaves like he does.
The thing is that like some of the stuff that happens in the past had so much time to come forward, and like for example, like the very last episode of season 2, I don't even consider it the last episode, because I feel like the episode before the penultimate episode of season 2 is the actual last episode, because the last episode was first half. Here's Ray's entire backstory, his entire foster home story condensed into half an episode.
Wait, was this at the end of season 1?
Yeah, no, the end of season 2, the very last episode of season 2. The second half is all about the sisters and
with the mom and stuff. No, that was given up.
It was the second half of the last episode of season 2 was all about Hina like getting into actually getting into her school and trying to go through changes, cutting her hair, all that stuff. The first half of that episode was here is a backstory of Ray's foster home, and especially his foster mom, which we don't hear shit about until the very last episode, and how the climate was with how his foster mom saw everything. I felt like that could have gone so much earlier and helped so much more in I think I'm happy that it happened at some point, but I feel like it should have happened so much earlier.
I mean, I agree. I think there is it definitely could have come earlier, but I would be pressed to say that wasn't like displayed at some point, like at some points throughout the show, like especially when Ray's sister would be coming in and shit. That wasn't totally hidden.
But it's all implied trauma. That's the problem.
Yes,
it's all implied. Nothing is explicitly shown.
They show you throughout the show. They do. They do at points throughout the show.
Some of it does, but the problem is it's not that I think it's like not enough or anything like that. I think it just like Alex said. I think it takes too long to get a significant amount out where I can really start to sympathize with them. Like, I don't feel the connection for so long because it takes so long for us to get any information that makes me want to sympathize with them, that makes me like understand why and then begin to connect, like you can't really connect with somebody unless you kind of understand what the situation is, like who they are and why they are the way they are. And because I didn't fucking understand what the hell was going on with Ray for so long, and they were just like drip feeding me like little tiny bits like at a time, it just became more frustrating than rewarding when I began to like understand him. I just got I honestly I was watching episodes and I was like, can I just find anything out about Ray? Like, is there can I learn something about him, please? Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, I was so frustrated watching that show.
That's fair enough. The one thing is that because the whole end, like the whole when I'm talking about the ending, is that the ending of like the last, or like the beginning of the last episode of season 2, is all from Ray's foster mom's perspective of like what it was having a just a random ass child in her house. Like she has her she has her husband and her kids, and they're her blood kids, and then there's foster child comes in, and it's explaining everything from her point of view of like how how he like interacted with everybody else, not only like the father and the mother, but also like his foster siblings, and all the way up until him leaving the house for whatever reason. And it's not uncommon that March had episodes or had moments when there were characters that weren't Ray as the focus, because there was a part where Shimada was there was like a
that was great.
Shimada was narrating himself.
I loved
He was narrating
Shimada's
his, like, his own
episodes.
perspective.
Yeah.
There was a part when Hina was narrating her own perspective. I want to say there was a point when Nikaido was narrating his own perspective, but I might be completely wrong.
That wasn't.
So,
I know what Matt's gonna say about Nikaido. Okay, I have a feeling.
Okay, here's the thing. Before we get into like specific instances that happened in season 2, let me just mention, I didn't finish this show. I didn't finish it.
Right, that should be clear.
I finished season 1 because I felt like I had an obligation to. I hated it. I'm not gonna lie. I hated it. I gave it a 5. I was gonna give it a 6, but after talking about it for a bit, I'm like, no, I can't even give it a 6. Like 6 is like it was like not displeasing to me. 5 is like there is some stuff that I really genuinely didn't like about this show.
I just don't know. I just don't know how you guys didn't pick up on like any of the, I didn't feel like so lost, or I didn't feel like a lack of empathy throughout the show. I just don't understand.
I didn't not pick up on stuff. The problem was how long it took. And then like there was also things like the things that they did drip feed us. I felt like it was not enough to satisfy how slow they were giving it to us. So like, they were like starting to touch on the things of like loneliness and like being lost and not having a purpose and like the loss of family and stuff like that. All those things are things that I have seen before. I have seen and thoroughly explored myself and in other media. Like I've had issues with loneliness and being lost and having no fucking purpose, and I've worked through those issues on my own. I've thoroughly explored all those issues on my own, and that's why like this isn't a thing where like I'm not trying to sound superior or anything like that. Like this was not good enough for me or something like that. The thing is like when there's an issue when I see an issue in a show, and like that's like that's talked about and addressed in a show, and I've already like personally in my own experience worked through those issues and thoroughly explored a lot of them. I have trouble getting much out of that, and like it's not that I dislike it because of that. It's just it feels like another empty bit. So when they drip feed us loneliness, like the whole issue of loneliness, and they show like how miserable he is because he doesn't have anybody around, and then like he makes like Akari and like the sisters like his like safe space, like that's like his like go-to like like company and stuff like that to like satisfy that loneliness issue, right? And that gets talked about quite a bit, like implicitly and explicitly, but I just like when that is the thing that's drip fed to me, that is when I have a problem, because normally if that was fed to me in a show, I'd be like, okay, this is a good topic to talk about, and like I'm glad they're taking some time to like talk about this issue and like show it happening to this character and stuff like that. It's good stuff. But when it's coming out so slow, and those are the things that I don't really get much out of, are the things that are being drip fed to me. It really just diminishes like the value of those things that are being drip fed. So like normally when you drip feed things like that, it should be something that hits hard, right? And because those things don't hit hard for me, that was where my issue came. With like being able to keep my attention on the show. I was incredibly bored for the majority of the first half of that show, like of the first half of the first season. The first 12 episodes, I was genuinely bored, like very bored. It got better as the season went on, and I was like actually like willingly watching episodes. but it took a long time for that to happen, and the nature of like my own situation and the relation between me and the show was where I had issues, basically. Like, and I didn't like it because I didn't get much out of it, and I didn't enjoy it very much. I had like some moments where I was like, oh, that's good, like, oh, that's fun, like, you know, the scenes where it's like fun scenes with like the sisters and stuff, like, oh, it's cute, and like there's some good seeds there, and there's like some stuff that's like pretty deep, but like, you know, I wasn't particularly invested in it. It's just like I said, I the value of those drip feed issues and stuff, like those drip fed topics, was not there for me in particular, and therefore I was like very just not entertained or very invested in the show for a very long time, for too long, basically.
Okay, fair enough.
That's fair. Like I will say, sorry, Alex. I'm gonna say this real.
My second season. But go ahead, yeah.
Well, let's talk about the first season first, okay? Because like there's quite a bit to get into, I'd say. Like I agree that like, sure, it's like, yeah, it is like, it can be slow for a lot of people, and like I could see why some people might say it's boring and stuff, especially with your explanation of like, oh yeah, you know, I've been through it and stuff, and so like I felt like, you know, I wasn't getting much out of it, blah blah. But man, I don't know. I felt like the show, you know, it took its time with introducing us to the cast of the characters, and like understanding the situation that it is right now in terms of like how he's like where he is, and then you learn about the situation with his family at this, like, you know, when he sees his father and stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, how's your sister doing? And then he's like, huh, my sister's not living with me or whatever. And then, you know, like that's like implicit, but I don't think that's like a bad thing at all. Like that's stuff where you're like, you keep that in mind, and you're like, oh shit, you know there's his sister's like, you know, like off the deep end and shit. And like,
yeah,
like I see that as like that small little detail, and then you start to put it together and stuff about what his family situation's like and all that stuff. And then, you know, he talks about, you know, what it was like growing up in a shogi family, and you know, the situation with his siblings and stuff, like all that's like drip fed, but I feel like that's not, I never felt like it was like too poorly spaced out or like boring or anything like that. I felt like it was
honestly
pretty fair.
It may just be me because I have, you know, a low attention span, maybe, you know, like honestly I do. So that also may be a thing just particular to me, because of that. Like, you know, I have a low attention span, so like if there's nothing going on that's like, if there's literally nothing, like there was a lot of scenes where like there was like, sometimes there'd be scenes where like literally it's just like him like walking down a street to like go to the bridge, and right. I'm like, okay, what's the fucking point of this scene? Like he's just walking.
Well, it's like, because like he has to walk across this bridge to get to
right, but like that's the kind of stuff on top of the stuff that I talked about earlier. Those scenes on top of the stuff that I was talking about earlier really, really demands a lot out of my short attention span, and I was like not invested whatsoever. It took me a long time to get invested because stuff just wasn't happening. Like straight up just wasn't happening to me. Like to me I was like watching it like going like, okay.
I kind of get what you mean. I kind of know what you're talking about. I do feel like there were some points when when someone they try to pull out some kind of like symbolism. And sometimes it felt a little forced, like trying to like.
Yeah, it was forced. Like,
whoa, what?
And you're miserably failing. That's what I.
Where was this? Where was this? Tell me. Tell me where it felt forced.
With the whole bridge shit, I feel like once, twice. I think that's subtle enough to where there is symbolism, but it's not overly like there's an overly attention. But the fact that he walks across the bridge a lot. To the point where why you bring it symbolically, you should just outright tell us why he's walking across the bridge or what it means to him.
It's just like literally the whole point of the show is to see Ray change. Like you need to see his perspective change on the. You need to see the perspective change of Ray on the bridge. throughout the
whole first season,
show.
basically, it doesn't change.
Because the whole show is about him figuring out, like, shit on his, like him figuring out himself and, like, what he, what he needs and, learning to just stand on his own and stuff. And then season two is about, him accepting others and, like season one, I think, is more, accepting himself and learning about himself and all that stuff, right? Alex touched on this earlier. And season two is about, him accepting others and, and you're not only being able to stand on his own 2 feet, but helping others, like helping the people that helped him, like that's what it's about. And that's why we're taken to the same place a lot, because we need to see how that perspective is changing throughout the series.
Yeah, I guess, but I feel like there was very little progress for like the first half of the show.
Because it doesn't happen overnight.
Yes, right. And that's why, like, when it started to change, when things did start to change, and I was like, oh, I can kind of get it. It's just, it ended up, those scenes ended up frustrating me more than giving me any value. That's, like, kind of where I stand on it.
Okay. I mean,
let's talk about season 2. First of all, by and large, I think season 2 was...
Season 2 is better. Season 2 is better.
So much better.
It is better.
I
think not that Matt would know.
It might just be that they pay less attention to Ray and more attention to the people around him, which makes it a lot more diverse in what characters are getting attention. Because like for a while, for the good chunk of season 1, Ray is getting a lot of screen time and a lot of attention on him, which is fine. But it gets so repetitive to the point where, once season 2 hits and you have like an episode entirely devoted to the 3 sisters, I'm like, I'm hooked. I like these characters. Let's watch. Or like an episode like devoted to Shimada, or devoted to like a half an episode that was devoted to Kyoko and Goto.
Those last like the last like shogi battles at the end with Shimada and the old guy, that was a really actually interesting match.
That was good. Yeah.
Oh, also, I want to just quickly mention, shogi remains boring to me, and I do not care about it whatsoever.
The show is not meant to sell you on shogi.
Right. No, but here's the thing. I was told it would.
Who told you that?
I was like, I remember
what?
I remember being told, like, oh, get ready to get invested in shogi, and I was like, okay, I guess. And then I started watching it, and I was like, man, shogi's just like...
Shogi's a platform.
Chess. I'm good. No,
shogi's a platform.
I also learned shogi, by the way.
You did? Did you get invested in shogi?
A little. I mean, not really. Because the big thing for me is that the way I learned it was through a site that, like, instead of it having the Japanese characters, they'd have a letter to represent what piece it was. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, cool. I can like, cause like I understood like how pieces moved and how the game worked generally. And the big thing for me was like, okay, cool. I can identify all the pieces. I know how a game plays. And then we get to the game, the game in the show, and I'm like, I don't have no idea what pieces are which. I can't read this shit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So he just moved his B to 09. I'm like,
that's irrelevant though. That doesn't matter.
I know.
That barely matters.
I'm just because I was like, there's some.
No, I should have mentioned. It is. Shogi is an important part of the show.
It's a platform though. It's not like it doesn't. Right, you don't watch the show to be like, man, these shogi battles are crazy.
Right, but the platform was also boring. That's why I had even more trouble getting into it, because I was not only is the concepts they're trying to bring up to me not investing for me, the platform they're trying to deliver it from is also boring. And then, they also have all these scenes that I think are relatively pointless sprinkled in the middle, and it just made a recipe for me being fucking bored the whole time. Like, that's literally, it was all those things added together that just reduced my investment to near zero for a very long time, and I was just really bored. Like, those first 12 episodes of season 1 were the most painful 12 episodes I've ever watched of a show.
Ever watched? Are you really going to say that?
Okay, maybe not ever. Okay. I did hate
That's
Domestic
right.
Girlfriend. Domestic Girlfriend was pretty bad. That was different reasons. It was different reasons. All right.
Oh my.
Like that was the most bored I'd ever been watching a show.
No.
Like at least when I watched
Dude.
Trinity 7, that shit was fucking stupid and horrible, but at least it was like funny bad. Like I was like, man, this is horrible, but it's also kind of funny. I like watching
man.
this.
Okay, so Ryan, all
Man,
right?
you're tearing me apart right now, bro. I'm just
Ryan,
like,
between you and me, I get what he's saying with how it's boring, but I think it's not boring for the sake of being boring. I think
No.
they use it as a device, like as a plot device for everything that happens.
that's what it is. It's a
Because-
platform. It's the same thing. I'm
not
saying,
arguing. I'm
I'm
not
saying,
arguing this, yeah.
I look, okay, like, I get that, like, okay, if you're not invested in the characters, then there's no reason to give a fuck about it. But, like, shogi itself isn't the problem. It's that he's not invested in the characters. Because, like, the whole reason why you give up, like, when they're going through the last, you know, shogi match in the series with the old guy and Shimano for the title, like, you're invested because you're learning how much it means to them, right? That's like the whole point of like you don't give a shit about what's actually happening in the battle itself. You care about what it means to them, right? When Shimada really wanted the match to be in his hometown, right? That's what it's about. It's not about shogi itself. Like, I could care less about it too. I mean, like, okay, maybe I cared a little. Maybe I'm a slightly more interested in shogi because of the show. But like that's like irrelevant. I'll probably never fucking play it. Never will I watch it either. I can't imagine watching it. But like it's the shogi itself isn't the problem here. Okay, he wasn't invested in the characters.
I don't think it is either.
Yeah.
I just said like it's because it is the platform, and because I don't like the platform on top of the other stuff, it just made it even harder, right? Like it was like another thing added on top of the pile of things I already didn't like, you know. So like it was all those things together is what I mean. Like it's just like those little things that add up to make one big thing I don't like. Basically.
Okay.
And I don't think the show is genuinely bad. This is just my personal experience of the show, of myself personally, my very specific case being not particularly interested. At least in the first season. I like I said, I haven't watched the second season because I was I was in pain watching the whole first season. Like literally it was hard to watch. So maybe eventually I'll pick it up again down the line when I think I'm ready to like give it another shot. But for now, I have no interest in picking the show up again. For now.
Okay. But talking about season 2, first of all, Ryan, my scoring for season 2, on my Mal, I put it as a 7. But I'm telling you, man, like it is so hard for me to tell you whether I want to give it a 7 or an 8, because it's either an 8 or it's like a high ass 7.
Well,
like,
why did you end up giving it a 7 then?
Well, I put it as a 7 just as a safe bet. It's just a placeholder for now. I'll figure it out sooner or later, because I'm so torn in figuring out what I want it to be. Because like I'm looking at my list and like the second season is definitely not on the same level as my 7s, but it's not as good as my 8s. Like it is like right in the middle there. I'm having such a tough time figuring it out. But the big thing for me with season 2 was it really was, like I mentioned earlier, was talking about the specific characters and Ray perceiving, like looking at them and seeing their issues, and then like a good chunk of it was like, oh, I can't do anything to help them, but maybe I can try something, and that was a good chunk of like how he helped people.
Right, I felt like that was really interesting, like with not just him. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Illness, Shimada's illness, Hina's getting getting bullied and shit. I think Hina's like whole experience with bullying was probably the best part of the entire show.
Yeah.
Not because it was being bullied, but because it was watching Ray think that he's helpless to help her, but then realizing that he just like a light flicks on and he gets motivated to do anything possible to like pay her and everyone else back.
Right, and this is like a huge transition point. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. And it's like a huge transition point for him, right? Because, you know, throughout the series, you know, he was trying to figure out how to stand on his own 2 feet, and at the same time too, he wasn't sure if he would was able to accept the help of others around him, right? But then, so yeah, season 2 comes around, and it's like about he learns that he can accept the help from others around him, and also he himself can do things to help the people that have helped him and stuff like that. I mean, I like, I mean, this show I think is also just like really great at just like showing just like families like families sick, like from the show, like.
And Vin Diesel would love you.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I think I do think like for sure. Oh fuck! And there's everything with Soya closer to the end about him being like deaf and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that shit. Bless up. Like that was like honestly. So I wish Soya had so much more screen time, and it wasn't just like as like a final like here's a final hoorah for Rey. Is this character?
The idea is that like it kind of shows what Rey would have been had he not met the other people, know, right? Because you become this person that doesn't have anyone, is like he's like this husk, right? This shogi robot, I guess, right?
Right. No, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I actually didn't think about it like that.
Yeah. So that's
no, yeah.
And I think also that's why they had the Rey's mother thing at the end too, because like because then like because Rey returning home, right, kind of signifies that he's changed, right? So
yeah, I feel like this thing. If I'm going to be really honest, but I do feel like when it comes to like the whole like mother, like the whole like Rey's foster mom thing, I do feel like they could have divvied that up perfectly and having like the first half of just her explaining like Rey entering her household, having that like closer to the end of season 1. And then having Rey's return at the end of season 2. Like I think the Rey's return, like that was great. But I feel like having that, like having at least some little bit of backstory earlier would have been good, and then having her see him, like we see her at the end of another season, but instead of it being like looking back on the past, is looking at like visualizing and seeing how the present's looking.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess we can move on a little bit past that. Good show.
Well, okay.
I think it was like fine. It was good. It was good.
Let's quickly talk about the soundtrack.
It
was pretty good, honestly. The soundtrack was pretty good.
It was good. I have it downloaded.
It was very pretty. It's a very pretty soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I have it downloaded. I think it's very good. I think it's great.
It's not particularly my style. I don't think I'd listen to it often, but I was like I liked it. I enjoyed listening to the music whenever it came on. I was like, oh, this is good. And like the openings were good, the endings were good.
So let me tell you about Shaft for a second.
Hold on. I will just say this. It's very good hiking music. The soundtrack, I will say. All right.
Really?
Yes. It's very good hiking music.
Let me fanboy about Studio Shaft for just a moment here, right? Out of the 2 shows, now 3 shows that I've watched from them, all of them just go so good on the music. Mm-hmm. Right? Monogatari stands like head and shoulders above all else just because I love Monogatari.
Mm-hmm.
But like Madoka's OST is great, and this song, like I feel like there's points where I was like, damn, like most of the shows, like most of the songs were like, this is like study music for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it was like,
yeah, I could see it for sure. Yeah.
There are a couple of like outlier tracks that I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to? But like with any show, like when are you not gonna get that?
I don't know about hiking. I was like, that was an odd one to me, but
I literally listened to it on my hike today. So
fair enough.
There you go.
This is my taste.
I mean, some people might say that like me using like hiking music might be a little
love live music. Yeah, it's true.
I did not say love live, but
your mic cut out.
Yeah,
has
Alex been cutting out throughout, or? Mm-hmm. Okay, it was just that moment.
The first time.
He's cut out a couple times for me.
I do, in terms of music, I do want to talk about the openings and endings, right?
Okay.
That was probably the most disappointing thing about the entire show for me personally, is that I thought that most of the openings and endings were not.
They were okay.
They weren't. I mean, they weren't great.
I feel like there was one good opening and one good ending, and that was the second opening. So Sayonara Bystander.
That one was good.
I really liked that one.
Which one was that?
And then, so it's
season 1,
season 1 second opening.
13, I guess, would be the first episode it played.
Do they? Is that like the one by? Don't they have one by like Bump of Chicken or some shit?
Bump of Chicken was the first opening.
Oh, okay.
It was like a woman singing it. For this opening.
Yeah, that one was good. That one was good.
And
yeah.
the other like the ED that I really liked was the last ED.
I really liked the last ED as well. That one was
every
good.
every other opening is fine.
They're passable.
Every other ending, I think every other ending is at least. I think my least favorite opening for sure is the third opening, because they do some shit with the vocals of the third opening. I'm sorry, not third opening. No, I think it's the third. I don't know. It's the third or the fourth opening.
Did they use the same artist?
No. They had. I think they had a different artist for every song, because yeah, I think they did that. They might have had like one opening and ending that might have had the same artist, but I don't think it wasn't very common. If so,
I just noticed something very funny. You are a Studio Shaft simp. Apparently, I'm a Studio Shaft hater, because both Studio Shaft shows I've watched so far have gotten to 5.
What was the other one?
Madoka Magica, and I dropped it.
Didn't
I
you
watched
watch
5
like 3
episodes. I watched 5 episodes and I dropped it.
Fair enough.
Because I thought it was shit. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was like the most pointless watch of my life. I was like, all right, I'm not
the most pointless watch of your life. That's a statement.
That's like, okay. It was like, that's what I mean. Like, I like watching trash to the end sometimes, because I
you didn't like Domestic Girlfriend.
Right, but okay, that's true. I dropped it at episode 10 because I couldn't fucking take it on my brain anymore. That's different. I was under too much distress watching that show because of how fucking it hurt.
Okay.
Anyways, it's like Madoka Magica felt like one of those shows where I was just like, man, this is gonna be really fucking average. So I'm just not gonna waste my time on it, and I'm just gonna move on to something I'd actually enjoy.
Okay.
That's what I felt about it.
Yeah,
and the same thing happened with Merchants Like a Lion, where I was like, man, this is just really average to me. I didn't really enjoy it at all. Like, I didn't hate Merchants Like a Lion. I just thought it was so not. I didn't get anything out of it that, like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't objectively bad. It was just I didn't get anything out of it, and therefore I didn't want to watch it because I felt like I was getting nothing out of watching every episode.
Okay. I can understand the sentiment. Except I don't drop shit, so bless up.
Right. But I
I've only dropped
time, so
I've only dropped a couple shows.
Oh, checking your mouth.
I dropped a lot.
I dropped Don Machi, and have I dropped anything else?
I've dropped 18 shows.
That's
so,
a
like,
lot.
you know.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, I have no fucking patience for shows I don't want to watch. Like, if I don't want to watch it, I will not watch it.
Jesus.
And this was
what?
That's what I mean. Like, with this, I really didn't want to watch this. When I after watching like 12 episodes, I was like, I really didn't want to continue. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna tough it out. I'm gonna finish the first season at the very least, because I feel like I need to have at least a significant amount of like at least a somewhat significant portion to speak about. Otherwise, I'm gonna be like just like nodding my head, saying nothing the whole time. You know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't want to be that. I don't think I'm
Fair enough. I'm assuming we can all agree on Best Girl. It should be difficult.
Hold up. You're cutting out on my end. Sorry. Hold up.
You're cutting out on our end.
So it's you're the problem, Ryan.
I mean, yeah. I'm aware of that.
You're always the
I
problem,
don't
you
want
bastard.
I think okay. I think it should be good. I think.
I'm assuming I don't have to ask you who Best Girl is, because it should be the easiest choice of your life.
Yep. Momo. No, I'm kidding. Akari.
Children confirmed.
No, I'm joking. It's joking.
I'm running the twit longer, man.
The twit longer incoming. Oh man.
No, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I made a continuous and severe lack of judgment.
She's definitely Akari's definitely a character that like I see her and I'm like she's not like waifu material. She's like this like a wife material.
like actual wife. Like actual wife
Mm.
material. Like you can't ask more. You can't ask for more.
Well,
Like
you can always ask for a little bit more.
oh. I don't know what you want. I don't. Okay. Well, that's my taste.
You could always ask for a Senjugahara, huh?
Of course. Yeah. Jesus.
So,
I mean, yeah. Akari-san, best girl, wife, material. I mean, I don't. Yeah, no one's gonna argue with that. What do you guys think of the art style? I need to know your opinions.
It took a little bit for me to warm up to it, but I did actually quite. I thought it was very pretty. It was very like it's very different. It's like it is different. It's unique. I liked it.
That's what I like about it.
It's I was gonna say it's very a Studio Shaft, but it's kind of.
But it's not really though.
No,
it's not really
compared to Monogatari at least. And like the two shows I watched, not very like. There's a couple points, like especially like when I mentioned earlier with like the head tilt when they like animated that. I'm like,
they have similar styles.
I see it,
but
I was getting flashbacks of Senju Gahara as soon as Kyoko like turned her head. I'm like, oh my god, I've seen this shit before. But like for like everything else, it was like very like kind of like coloring book esque. If that kind of makes sense, it was like very
very drawn. I would say.
Yeah.
Very hand drawn.
And pretty.
I think if I had to summarize, the show like artistically or stylistically in like one way, I have to say that it's very much like a motion picture. It is telling a story. It's like a moving coloring book, like a moving. Like I don't know how to like put it, but like it's very much a story on wheels, right? It's
I know what you're trying to say, and I don't
story on wheels.
I don't know.
I'm sure there's a better way to say it, but I mean,
it's like if you drew like a painting that.
I mean, like I said, it's very hand drawn. I mean, I don't know.
It also it looks like very very painted, very artistic. But in terms of like the story, it's very. How do I put it? It's very. I guess I would say it's very like. It uses its ambiance. It definitely is not shy to use the ambiance that it's given, and it definitely tries to make the most of it. Sometimes it makes a little too much with it, but for the most part, it makes what it can with like being very ambient. I think that'd be the term. So. But yeah, no, it was very much like reading like watching a novel unfold artistically than it was actually watching a show, in my personal opinion. I felt a lot less like I was watching an anime. I was watching a picture book because it was. I feel like things were just unfolding instead of actually progressing. If that makes sense.
I guess I think I know what you're trying to say, but I don't really know how to say it any better. So,
so
I'd love to help you out, but I really can't.
All right. Well.
Hold on. Before we wrap it up, sorry. I gotta know you guys' opinion on Nikaido.
I didn't hate him. I thought he was good, honestly.
Look, man. I think I love his voice actor when he doesn't yell. I honestly, I really like listening to Bakugo, and fucking why do I forget the name?
He's Nishinoya too.
Who?
From Haikyuu.
He hasn't seen Nishinoya.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying though. That's why he should watch it. He's also Gatsio from JoJo's. So another win.
Like all those like keep the voices like a lot of like the loud, obnoxious fucking characters.
You don't like that though? That's like part of the voice actor.
I get it, but there's comes to a point where we can only have the obnoxious yelling dude so many times to the point where I can't take it anymore. And for any point that Nikaido was loud, he actually had a reason to be loud. But for the most part, when he spoke normally, and I did not. And I think that like that is a breath of fresh air out of that man's fucking mouth. Jesus Christ! I do not like it was like Jachio, Bakugo, and I forgot the fucker from ReZero. I'm so sorry. I forget it.
Garfield?
Yeah, Garf.
I forgot, but like for the most part, all they do is yell or they have like an aggressive tone, and it just sounds the same all the time. But with Nikaido, he softened up, and that is something that I wish I could have. I wish I'd heard before with his voice actor. But even so, like I will say. Another thing that made me realize, this is definitely Studio Shaft, is that they reused a lot of Monogatari voice actors and actresses. Fucking Hina is Hana Zanakawa, same girl who voices Senju Gahara, not Senju Gahara, but Nadeko from Monogatari. The Renai Circulation girl.
What do you want me to say, bro? What do you want me to say?
Helpful, Alex.
Oh, I know now.
I've never seen any of the show. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. Neither of us have seen Monogatari, so.
You're a Monogatari simp, you fucking bitch.
Shimada's voice actor Kaiki Deishu from Monogatari.
Okay, but it's not a Monogatari copy. That's just those are just
I know.
very popular voice actors.
Just a note, but like it's like one thing that like made me realize, oh, this is definitely Shaft. Is like because Shaft, like a lot of the Shaft anime, kind of use the same voice actors. It's not that they're exclusive to Shaft, but Shaft just, I guess, they just kind of got on good terms with all those voice actors, and yeah, it's nice to see them again. I like a lot of their voices. So, all right, well, good discussions, hot takes, definitely like probably like fucking lava takes all around.
I'm gonna get. I hope I get shit. That'd be fun.
Now we have our fun discussion of what we're watching next.
Oh, I forgot we're having that.
So, I think we agreed upon a 12 episode for the next watch, right?
Yeah, for next one, because we're gonna be 1 week.
If anyone has any suggestions, by all means, whoever wants to take the lead, go ahead.
All right, I'll hit you with my first couple. So all right, I wanted to re-propose both Blue Spring Ride and Devilman Crybaby because both of those I've been wanting to watch for a while, but I wanted to go a little bit off the beaten path, a little bit away from the normal, because this isn't an anime technically. I was gonna propose we watch Castlevania, season 1 and 2, because it's 12 episodes total between season 1 and 2. Because I know that Ryan hasn't seen it, and he's been looking forward to watching it. And
Me?
I don't know if Alex has seen it. Have you?
I have not.
Huh? I know I haven't seen it, but I don't think I've ever said like, oh man, I really want to watch it.
You mentioned you wanted to watch it. You literally mentioned it like 2 days ago. What do you mean?
Castlevania?
I remember you saying it. Yeah, Castlevania.
I don't remember the past 2 days.
Maybe I'm on drugs.
I was like, huh? I mean, I've said that I haven't watched it, and that it's mild. You know, I've never explicitly said, man, I'm really feeling some Castlevania right now.
Okay, I wanted to propose it because I also want to rewatch season 1 and 2 because I want to catch up and watch season 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured, you know, if we can also do it for this, it's not technically an anime, but just throw it in there,
like,
you know.
the same thing
a little spice in the mix, you know.
It's the same thing as like considering Avatar an anime, like Last Airbender. It has a super stylistically similar to anime. But
yeah, it's the closest thing to anime that's not anime.
Definitely inspired, but not actually anime.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it can be debated. I don't agree. I don't think it's anime technically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically, I don't think so, but I think it's in the same vein at least. You know.
All right.
I do have a feeling that we're all going to just repropose things because I'm going to repropose some things that people mentioned before that weren't my own proposals, by the way. The first being Horimiya, and the second one being what is it? Black Lagoon, I think it's called.
Black Lagoon's 24.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's no longer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 seasons.
Well, we could watch the first season, but those I feel like are as well like off the beaten path that we had been on previously, you know, or like based on the shows that we had, because I mean we watched Lion, which is unique, right? But before that we watched Mushoku Tensei, Dorohedoro, what was the other one?
And
Vinland Saga, you know, all those are kind of fantasy, sci-fi, I don't know, like intense shows.
It's like intense, yeah. Like a little more intense. But
so I could go for like a lighthearted rom-com or like, or something like, I mean, I just because I want to watch Black Lagoon, but yes.
Okay, I'm gonna come in hot with 3 proposals.
Are they re-proposals or are they new?
One is a re-proposal. So the one thing I'm going to re-propose is Serial Experiments Lane.
I knew that, yeah.
Episode. It's supposed to be like a very like philosophic show that like kind of has to do with light.
Yeah, I think we've proposed it like 4 times, so you don't need to re-pitch it to us.
Yeah.
So don't worry, we get it.
I know what the deal is. Don't worry, I know what the deal is.
Yeah, we do.
The second one I wanted to propose was Baccano, which you had mentioned you had wanted to watch at some point.
Oh yeah, I want to watch it at some point. Yeah.
And I'm not sure if have you watched it, Ryan?
Nope.
You have, right?
I would like to though.
How long is it?
I think it's 12, I think it's 12 episodes. But there's like 3 OVAs that like kind of like exist. I guess if you really want to watch it at the end, but like still 12 episodes base. and you can watch it. And that's probably
Okay,
one of the
so
best.
here's the thing though. If
one
we're
of the
gonna
best
do
things
Baccano, are we agreeing to watch it all in the same language, or are we gonna
English
do a
dub?
mix?
Okay, so here's the thing.
Okay, hold on. Before we agree on this, please just finish your proposals, okay?
Okay.
We'll
Yeah, true.
talk about
True, 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 yeah.
let's just
Last
hear
thing
out
I
the
was
other
gonna
proposals.
Was I thought it'd probably be a cute idea, since we've kind of gone on the off the beaten path of maybe watching some idol shit. Was watching one of my first anime of all time, which is Sorega Seiyu. That's Seiyu's life.
Is that an idol?
I've heard of it.
It's kind of an idol show. It's
Mm.
all revolving around. It's more about seiyus than it is about idols.
What's the Seiyu?
So-
So voice actors and actors.
Seiyu is voice
Ah.
actor. It's like voice acting, but solutions to like kind of idol stuff. It's that's probably my lowest choice out of the three I've proposed,
Mhm.
but it's definitely an option.
Okay.
So when it comes to Baccano, I want to quickly emphasize this. I had watched it originally in Japanese. I went in the Japanese dub with English sub because I just kind of always do that.
Yeah.
And when I got one of my friends to watch it, I peeked it on a couple of episodes just to see how he was liking it and everything. And he was watching English dub, and I can safely say that English dub is so much fucking better. There's so much more personality. It's contextually better, and the voice actors just land jokes like better than they do in the Japanese dub. So if you're gonna watch it in one language, we're watching in English dub.
So you're proposing it in English,
For
and that means that all three of us can get something new out of it, right? Like, because you're going to be watching it for the first time fully in English, and then we'll be watching it for the first time just in general, right? So that's not a bad choice, honestly. I kind of like that.
I'm down for Baccano if we want to do that. I mean, I'll repropose the idea of a rom-com if we want between Spring Ride or Horimiya, but if not, if we want to do Baccano, then I'm cool with that. I think Baccano is a good choice.
Spring Ride I don't think is actually very much rom-com. It's more romance.
You know what I mean? It's like
It's more like
romance in
drama.
general. That's what I'm talking about. Just
Yeah.
romance. Sorry.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but Horimiya is more lighthearted. I think that's what I. So if we're looking for a lighthearted thing, I think we'd go for Horimiya. But I think honestly, I'm down for Baccano. That sounds kind of sick.
All right.
Baccano sounds
I
good
will
to me.
say, by the way, Matt, Castlevania. That's a fucking amazing idea. I really want to watch Castle. I watched the first half an episode with my dad before he got tired and went to bed at one point.
It's so good.
And I was like, damn, this is really good. I gotta watch at some point.
And again,
have you seen Castle?
The English voice acting is phenomenal. It's actually amazing.
Well, because it's made in the
It
US
is,
as well.
it is
so
North American,
it's a
but
better
it
talent.
also but also like some like animated shows that get done in North America, like they don't have very good voice acting, and like you can tell. And like Castlevania really it's like genuinely like really good. It's not like just satisfactory. It's really good. You get
one of its accents, and the accents.
The accents are perfect. Accents are perfect. Everything it's really good. It's not just okay. It's really good. But yeah, so I think honestly, if everybody can agree on Baccano, I'm down. I'm down for that.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I think
By the way, Ryan, I think you were gonna ask, have I seen Castlevania? I have not. I watched.
No, I was talking about Matt.
Yes, I've seen the first 2 seasons. That's it.
Okay. There's more.
Which is the first 12 episodes. Yeah, there's 12 episodes in the first 2 seasons. There's 4 episodes and then 8, and then season 3 and 4 are both I think 12 episodes long.
Okay. Well, maybe for another time.
Yeah,
perhaps another time.
Point though. So, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone. Whoever does show up to this, we've been doing this for what, like 2 months at this
We
point.
love you.
I think so. I'm worse. We're on episode 7, so it's got to be, a little bit over
months.
2 months.
Close, yeah,
We're
it's
a
been
few
a little
months
over
in,
2 months now. We kept going on this, and I've seen some support, and thank you, honestly. This is much more of just a passion project instead of anything else. And to receive as much support as we have for this is kind of astounding.
We love you.
So love you. So follow specifically Ryan on YouTube, because he's the one who uploads all these and edits these. He's our Lord and Savior. All hail Ryan. Follow all of us on Twitter. Links in the description. Talk to us. I don't know. Give us suggestions, man.
I'm friendly.
Propose any idea. We're down. We have to change it for the better, for sure. So, but no, we appreciate whatever. It's not much, but we appreciate the little support we get, and thank you. And from that, we'll see you in the next time. Good night.
Bye.
Bye bye.